Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Lens of Truth with me, Ivan Florentino, and for today's video, I'm super excited to finally be reviewing Metroid Prime Remastered. I can't believe this game has been remastered. It's finally true. Those rumors they all came true, and yeah, I'm excited. This is a huge remaster done right. But before we begin, if you're brand new to my channel, consider hitting the like button, ringing the bell, and leaving a comment, as it'll help my channel out greatly. And let's go. Alright, for any of you who has never played Metroid Prime, the original, let's do a brief history of this game. So the original game was released back on November 18th, 2002 by a Western-based company in Austin, Texas called Retro Studios, which was a surprise that a Western company was given such an important task of handling a valuable IP such as Metroid, which had many worried as it was coming off the highly rated Super Metroid and skipping the entirety of the 5th generation on the Nintendo 64, with Samus Aran's only appearance on the original Super Smash Bros. And come to find out that it was going to be in first person. Many doubted that it would carry the essence of the Metroidvania series into 3D flawlessly, but when it released, it ended up being one of the highest rated games of all time. So Metroid Prime is one in a trilogy of games where Retro Studios and Nintendo coined the term first-person adventure. The main difference being that it's more of an adventure game, less of an action game, where it was sometimes compared to the Halo series. This game differed in mainly control style and the pace of the game. And it's crazy to believe that over 20 years later, this game's art style still holds up impressively well, and that it transfers amazingly into this remastered gem. The story begins where Samus intercepts a distress signal from the space pirate frigate Orpheon, where the crew has been slaughtered by the pirates' genetically modified experimental subjects. And this is where she comes face to face with the cybernetic version of Ridley called Meta Ridley. After an escape sequence and an explosion, Samus loses her suit, causing damage to her abilities and malfunctions. And this is where she escapes and chases Ridley in the nearby planet of Talon 4. And this is where our adventure begins. This opening prologue is a perfect example of how to start a game and show people how to play and learn the mechanics of what this game is about. Everything from enemies going into third person, shooting, using missiles, introducing you to our character and our main enemy of the game. This is an introduction done right. Alright, now let's move on to the graphics. For many years, the Switch has been known to be an underpowered machine, and for the most part, Nintendo being one of the ones that knows their hardware and can come out with impressive visuals, with this game being a remaster and taking the assets of the original game and literally building them on top of the foundation with high-res textures, impressive lighting. This is one of the best looking games Nintendo has ever produced. The Metroid series always carried this sci-fi aesthetic with a mixture of human-made and organic structures. Not only does the setting feel lived in, grounded, and believable, it lends into the isolation of what Samus is going through as a bounty hunter. Everything around you just feels impressive in scale and scope, and every inch has been recreated from the ground up in detail that at times I just stood around to look and observe everything. And this is what a lot of us gamers back in 2002 thought the game looked like, and as impressive as that game was for its time and it still holds up today, this just goes above and beyond what I was expecting. Both the enemies and boss designs have had a huge overhaul in textures and polygon count. This game is impressive, and that the fact that it runs at 900p at 60 frames per second, this is a smooth experience and a visual treat for the eyes. It's the small visual details while looking through Samus's visor, when water's pouring down and it's dripping not only on the arm cannon in a realistic way, It looks very impressive. The heat distortion in the Magmor caverns, the impressive lighting in narrow areas illuminating moths flying around a light source, to a blast illuminating Samus's face in her visor, to the great water effects when you roll into third-person view as a morph ball. Everything from bug splatter, condensation, and static interrupting your view, everything just looks great and really puts you in Samus's view. And bringing everything together are the great camera angles and movements to make everything look cinematic. It helps you bring you into this deadly isolated world while also showing off the polish and great character detail in Samus's shiny armor. Everything is just impressive. Not only docked, playing out on the big screen, this game looks amazing, especially on the Nintendo Switch OLED, with its deep rich blacks and vibrant colors that just pop out. It's just an impressive game of scale to play on such a portable handheld. Besides the obvious visual facelift this game received, some of the new extras include a color assist mode for the visually impaired, and even a narration that was never before seen in North America but only in the European version and the Japanese version, which you can turn on and off as partial or full. And this is cool as it narrates certain parts of the game and it just adds to the atmosphere and it doesn't take away anything as the dialogue is brief and gets right to the point. They even added the original concept art and also brand new remastered versions of it with models that are in high detail where you can really observe all the love that went into this game. Everything from enemies, Samus's model, and the organic life on the planets. This is really cool to unlock and see. And you'll slowly unlock these as you progress through the game, and you'll get a notification when you do unlock certain things as you scan them with Samus's visor. And it's pretty cool how they incorporated using the lore of the Metroid series in this game as you're learning more information of the setting, enemies, and everything around you. But most important of all are the control options. Not only do you get a dual stick option, a pointer, a hybrid, and a classic, any style that you choose just works. It's very impressive how everything can be remapped and it just feels so great and so organic to play. It feels classic Metroid and modern all at the same time. And because throughout this game you'll be switching between different visors, different beam weapons, going into third person mode with your morph ball, you can tailor the controls however you like and to be comfortable. The most recommended would be to use the gyro plus stick option where it feels more like a modern shooter and slight gyro controls when aiming up and down, and especially with its impressive lock-on feature that retains itself from the original game that made it a first-person adventure. Everything just works very well. And with all these control options, this is going to be the best way to scan your environment and your enemies as you learn more and more about this world, as you upgrade Samus with more missiles, more energy tanks, solve the morph ball puzzles, collect visors and brand new beams. The gameplay feels classic and old school and modern all at the same time, and it just works perfectly. Now, one of the things that makes this game a true classic is not only the graphics, but the music. So the Metroid series has been known to have a dark undertone when it comes to horror and sci-fi combined flawlessly, as it does take inspiration from the Alien franchise. Hearing classic fanfare like transitioning from place to place with the elevator music, or when you collect a brand new item, an intense boss battle or enemy encounter, or an action set piece where you have to escape in classic Metroid fashion.
Evacuate immediately. Evacuate immediately. Evacuate immediately.
The remastered soundtrack and the score just adds to the isolation and dread that you feel in this Metroid game that Retro Studios and Nintendo knocked out of the park. It's one of those games where you truly feel like you're alone, and it's great to see that every area that you visit feels completely new and different, and it still meshes well with the sci-fi vibe that it goes for. This game truly feels what Super Metroid is in the 2D era, and now fully realized in 3D. Playing this with a 5.1 surround sound truly immerses you in this world. So before we leave, one of the things I recommend players to keep in mind is that this is an over 20-year-old game, so there isn't going to be any type of a arrow telling you exactly where to go. There is a hint system when you do feel lost that you can turn on and off. I recommend keeping it on because I actually do always get lost, and because this is a Metroidvania style game, meaning that you're going to be going back to areas that you've been to before whenever you get a brand new weapon or item. Just make sure that you scan everything and look at your 3D map in order to figure out where you have to go next. So, what did you guys think? Have you guys played this game? Are you ready for the physical edition? I know I'm getting both. I already have the digital, I'm getting the physical as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this review, and make sure to leave a comment and subscribe. See you later, and bye.